Greetings, human intellects of this world. The journey in your medieval ages reaches an intellect of a human, who is the climax of your 14th century degradation of trust in what could be known to be necessarily true. His name is Nicolaus of Autrecourt. According to Aristotle, true scientific knowledge bears the status of a necessary truth. According to him, the correctly stated first principles of the sciences and their deductive consequences could not be anything but true. Take note of the fact that his intellect believed that each science is comprised of a deductively structured collection of statements, and that all scientific demonstrations begin with its first principles. But in this case, Aristotle left his successors with the belief that the first principles of the sciences cannot be untrue, because they reflect aspects in nature that cannot be any other way than they are. For illustration, the first principle of physics, such as, there can be no vacuum, or that action at a distance is not feasible, and that violent motion is always the result of an agent acting continuously, were considered to represent the fundamental nature of your universe, and so they must be true. Yet, your world differs greatly from this perception. Nicolaus refused to concede certainty to the inductively established first principles of the sciences, whether these principles state causal relations or mere aptitudinal unions of phenomena. On the basis of the examination of the nature of deductive reasoning, Nicolaus rejected the possibility of acquiring the necessary knowledge of causal relations. He emphasized that no further knowledge can be deduced by a set of premises but only what is already implied or contained in the premises. To use a metaphor, deductive arguments are similar to apple juices in this regard, since only the juice that was originally there in the apples may be extracted. However, he thought, since a cause and an effect are two distinct things, one cannot deduce a statement about an effect from a statement about its purported cause. And this is because, according to his thought, one specific phenomenon occurred, it must be linked, or followed by another phenomenon. His intellect was adamant that it cannot be proven that a correlation that has been seen to exist would do so in the future. I am quite impressed that here, Nicolaus conceived that mere phenomena which seemed to be followed by one another by your observation do not entail a causal relationship between them. He intuited that the clue, or the mechanisms behind phenomena that binds them together, is nowhere to be seen and detected by your naked observation, nor it is contained in the premises of a deduction. So this is why you cannot prove that a correlation that has been seen to exist would do so in the future. Nicolaus' analysis comes to the conclusion that it is impossible to gain the necessary knowledge of causal relationships. Inductive arguments do not establish that an observed association must hold, and statements about cause do not entail statements about effects. Note here that the word must indicates your missing knowledge of the mechanisms behind phenomena that links the cause with an effect. After all this analysis, Nicolaus expressed his hope that the Christian faith would benefit from his assessment of what can be understood with certainty. He expressed disapproval at the fact that scholars devoted their entire lives to studying Aristotle. He argued that it would be preferable to use this energy to advance the community's morality and religious beliefs. And for this reason he appended a probable theory of your universe regarding the study of causes and effects. Not only did Nicolaus want to demonstrate that Aristotle's science lacked certainty, but he also wanted to demonstrate that his conception of the cosmos was not even the most likely.